We are in lesson 593. This is a spelling dictation lesson, and in this lesson we are going to be spelling words that contain the teams that you see on this screen. We are adding new teams that contain OU. OU in the word soul represents the long O sound. So when OU represents the long O sound, put a 4 under it, because vowel group 4 says two vowels joined together and the first vowel represents its long sound. OU can also represent the sound oo, as in soup. We've already learned OU represents the sound ow in out, in which case you underline it once. And OU in famous represents its second sound as a vowel group 6 team, which is the short U sound, When OU represents the short U sound, you double underline it. Now we have a third sound that OU represents as a vowel group 6 team, and that is the sound oo, as in soup. So when OU represents the sound oo, as in soup, you draw a dotted underline under OU to indicate it's representing its third sound as a vowel group 6 team. Also, OUR is a 3-letter vowel group 5 team representing the sound Now, we also have OUGH. When OUGH represents the long O sound, as in the word dough, referring to the dough you use to make bread, you would underline OUGH and put a 4 under it. However, OUGH can represent many other sounds as well. So when you encounter OUGH, first of all, determine if it's representing the long O sound. If it is, put a 4 under it. But if it's representing any other sound, and it can represent a number of different sounds, then underline OUGH and put a 6 under it, regardless of what sound it represents if it is not the long O sound. OUGH as a vowel group 6 team has many different sounds. Let me review the information I presented on the previous screen. First of all, use a dotted line to indicate when OU makes its third sound as a vowel group 6 team, and that sound is oo, as you hear in the word soup. The letter team OUR usually forms a vowel group 5 team when followed by a consonant, even when the consonant following the letter team OUR occurs in the next syllable. And the example given is journey. You have OUR followed by the letter N, but N is in the adjacent syllable. But nevertheless, OUR in this instance represents the sound Then finally, the letter team OUGH has many different sounds. Do not try and learn the separate sounds for this team. Instead, from the sounds of the consonants in the word and from the context of the word in the sentence, try and determine the correct sound this team represents. Note that by far the most common sound that the OUGH team represents is O, which is the long O sound, as in the word dough. When OUGH represents the long O sound, assign vowel group 4 to the team. When OUGH represents any other sound, underline the OUGH team one time and assign vowel group 6 to the team, regardless of the sound it represents. Now, this is an updated list of our vowel group 4 and vowel group 6 teams, and included now are the new teams we have just been presented with. And here is an updated list of the vowel group 5 teams, with the OUR team added as number 9 in this chart. And these two charts, with the vowel group 4 and 6 teams and the vowel group 5 teams, placed here for reference purposes, so at any point return to those screens to determine whatever information you need at the time. All right, I'm going to begin dictation now. There are a total of 8 rows of words, beginning with row 1. Boulevard. Boulevard. We will walk down the boulevard. Boo-le-vard. Boo, 2 sounds. B, oo. Le, 2 sounds. L, e. Vard, 3 sounds. V, Boulevard. Mark the word. Boulevard. OU is representing the oo sound here, as in soup. That is the third sound OU represents as a vowel group 6 team. So we place a dotted underline under OU to indicate it's representing its third sound oo as a vowel group 6 team. Soul. Soul. Let us pray for his soul. 3 sounds. S, O, ul. Soul. Mark the word. Soul. Here, OU is representing the long O sound, so that means it's a vowel group 4 team. Cough. Cough. He could not stop from a cough in the middle of the performance. Cough. Now we have 2 sounds here. K, off. Cough. Mark the word. Cough. OUGH is a 4-letter vowel team, and in this word it's representing the sound off. But remember, as I indicated, OUGH can represent many different sounds. So the way we handle it is we simply underline it. If it's representing the long O sound, put a 4 under the OUGH team. Otherwise, just put a 6 under the team and underline OUGH 1 time. Courage. Courage. What you did took a lot of courage. Cur-age. Cur, 2 sounds. K, Age, 2 sounds. A, j. Cur-age. Mark the word. Cur-age. Now here we have OUR forming a vowel group 5 team representing the sound but it's not followed by a consonant. So even though normally OUR will form a team when it's followed by a consonant, this word illustrates the fact that that's not always the case, and sometimes OUR will form a vowel group 5 team even when it's not followed by a consonant sound. So you have to look at each word individually to determine what is happening in that particular word, because even if you have a rule that's effective 99% of the time, there are always going to be exceptions. And this is an instance where we have an exception. Row 2. Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe. I like cantaloupe in the morning. Now for spelling, pronounce this word can-ta-lope. 3 syllables. First syllable can, 3 sounds. K, a, n. Tay, 2 sounds. T, a. Lope, 3 sounds. L, o, p. Can, tay, lope. Mark the word. Can, tay, lope. Mourn. Mourn. We will mourn his passing. Mourn. Now for spelling, you want to pronounce this mourn, and it has 4 sounds. M, O, n. Mourn. Mark the word. Mourn. OUR is not a team here. If OUR were a team and represented the sound we would pronounce the word mern. But the closest way to pronounce this word to conform to the spelling that we see in this word is mourn, where OU represents the long O sound. The next word is sojourn. Sojourn. A sojourn is a temporary stay at a place. Sojourn. 2 syllables. First syllable so, 2 sounds. S, O. Journ. 3 sounds. J, n. Sojourn. Mark the word. Sojourn. Here OUR is followed by a consonant, so OUR is a vowel group 5 team here. Discourse. Discourse. There was a great deal of discourse and discussion regarding the topic. Discourse. First syllable dis, 3 sounds. D, I, S. Course. Four sounds. K, O, S. Discourse. Mark the word. Discourse. Discourse. Row 3. Encourage. Encourage. I want to encourage you to stay in school. Age. N, two sounds. N. Cur, two sounds. K, Age, two sounds. J. Age. Mark the word. Age. Encourage. Group. Group. What group do you belong to? Group. Four sounds. G, R, U, P. Group. Mark the word. Group. Troupe. Troupe. The theater troupe moved from city to city depending on their performance schedule. Troupe. Four sounds. T, R, U, P. Troupe. Mark the word. Troupe. Uncouth. Uncouth. He acts in a very uncouth, antisocial manner. Uncouth. Two sounds. N. Couth, three sounds. K, U, th. Uncouth. Mark the word. Uncouth. Row 4. Rough. Rough. This hike is rough on my feet. Rough. Two sounds. R, uff. Rough. Mark the word. Rough. Soup. Soup. Would you like some hot soup? Three sounds. S, U, P. Soup. Mark the word. Soup. Glamour. Glamour. There is a lot of glamour attached to this job. Glamour. Gla. Three sounds. G, L, A. Mur. Two sounds. Glamour. Mark the word. Glamour. Here, OUR is not followed by a consonant, but again, it's representing the sound It's a vowel group 5 team. Acoustics. Acoustics. The acoustics are great to hear music in this place. Acoustics. First syllable, one sound. A. Coos. Three sounds. K, U, S. Ticks. Four sounds. T, I, K, S. Acoustics. Mark the word. Acoustics. Acoustics. Row 5. Journey. Journey. We took a journey down the river. Journey. Jur, two sounds. J, Knee, two sounds. N, E. Journey. Mark the word. Journey. The next word can be pronounced in one of two ways, and depending on the way you pronounce it will determine the meaning. You can say wound, as in he is all wound up, and you could also say wound, as in the soldier received a wound. And obviously these words mean different things, but they're spelled the same. So they both have four sounds. The first sound is w. The next sound is either ow or oo. Then you have n, d. Wound or wound. Let's mark the word. At the top we have wound, and under it we have wound. So at the top, the OU is representing the sound ow, and in wound it's representing the sound oo. The next word, throughout. Throughout. Throughout the day, we had to stop and get something to eat. Threw out. Through. 3 sounds. Th, r, oo. Out. 2 sounds. Ow, t. Threw out. Mark the word. Threw out. Again, OUGH is representing a sound here, oo, but it really doesn't matter. If it's not representing the long O sound, we simply underline it and put a 6 under it. Concourse. Concourse. I flew out of concourse A. Concourse. 2 syllables. First syllable, cong. 3 sounds, k, ah, ng. Course. 4 sounds, k, o, s. Concourse. Mark the word. Concourse. N is representing its second sound because it's followed by k. Row 6. 4, and this is the number 4. 4. I have 4 days left of work. 4. 3 sounds. F, o, 4. Mark the word. 4. Youth. Youth. They say youth is wasted on the young. Youth. 3 sounds. Y, u, th. Youth. Mark the word. Youth. Roulette. Roulette. He went into the casino to play the roulette table. Roulette. 2 syllables. First syllable, ru, 2 sounds. R, u. Let. 3 sounds. Ul, t. Roulette. Mark the word. Roulette. We underline the 3 under the E because of the silent E at the end of this syllable. Vowel group 3 would normally be in effect with the silent E at the end of the syllable, but in this instance, the first E is representing the short E sound. Discourteous. Discourteous. Never be discourteous to other people intentionally. Discourteous. Dis, 3 sounds. D, I, s. Cur, 2 sounds. K, T, 2 sounds. T, E, us, 2 sounds. S. Discourteous. Mark this word. Discourteous. Discourteous. Row 7. Caribou. Caribou. The caribou herd consists of thousands of animals. Caribou. 3 syllables. First syllable, ca, 2 sounds. K, a. Ri, 2 sounds. R, I. Boo, 2 sounds. B, oo. Caribou. Mark the word. Caribou. Caribou. Course. Course. I have to complete this course by the end of the week. Course. 4 sounds. K, o, s. Course. Mark the word. Course. Tough. Tough. She is mighty tough as a teacher. Tough. 2 sounds. T, uff. Tough. Mark the word. Tough. Flourish. Flourish. May you flourish in your new home. Flourish. Fleur. 3 sounds. F, ul, Ish. 2 sounds. Ish. Flourish. Mark the word. Flourish. And our final row 8. Shoulder. Shoulder. My shoulder hurts from carrying this backpack. Shoulder. Shoal, 3 sounds. Sh, o, ul. Der, 2 sounds. D, Shoulder. Mark the word. Shoulder. Journal. Journal. I try and write in my journal every day. Journal. Jur, 2 sounds. J, Null, 3 sounds. N, a, ul. Journal. Mark the word. Journal. Donut. Donut. I ate a donut earlier today. Do-nut. Do, 2 sounds. D, o. Nut, 3 sounds. N, t. Do-nut. Mark the word. Do-nut. And our final word is fought. Fought. He fought a hard fight. Fought, 3 sounds. F, a, t. Fought. Mark the word. Fought. This completes the dictation of words from Lesson 593.